It was finally time to start getting ready for my first North Frontenac trip of the year. I usually head out there a few times a year, and packing for it always starts with me randomly dropping all my camping gear onto an air hockey table over the course of a week or so. You know, a tent and sleeping bag on Monday, food and kitchen stuff some other day. And then, after I've run out of stuff to pile on the table, I perform this weird kind of packing dance that mostly involves putting different combinations of the same things into different bags, just to pull them out, rearrange them slightly, and then put them into different bags. And this occurs several times before I can decide that I'm ready to go. Then once the table's empty and the bags are full, I attach them to the bike. I'll walk around the bike a few times, looking it over, trying to find that dangling strap or a loose bolt that's going to try and get me killed tomorrow morning. Head to bed, sleep like crap, wake up, gear up, and get on the bike. Unfortunately, this early start's in an effort to beat the Toronto traffic that I have to survive to make it out there. Once you get through that, into the Peterborough area though, I get off the major highways and the ride starts to get much better. Okay, Hughes Landing Road. GoPro problems. Not sure why, ever since I got this Max Lens mod on, GoPro's locking up. Just stopping somewhere down here. There's a nice little spot for lunch. Not sure exactly where, but it's coming up. Just a Crown Land campsite that hopefully nobody's on, so I can stop for a rest, take some lunch. It's got to be just up here. Here it is. Time for lunch. All right, get to where we're supposed to be going. From here, it was a combination of forestry roads and two-lane pavement, more forestry roads, until I got to the North Frontenac Parklands. Moss Lake Road. This is the harder way into Granite Lake, but the shorter way. My good friend Forrest was coming with me on this particular trip, and from looking at my timing, I thought it was probably going to be pretty good. I figured by the time I'd finish going through the parklands and getting to the actual site, Forrest would be a little bit behind me, but definitely not too much. Give me a chance to kind of settle down a little bit, have a beer or two, and just kind of check out the site. Yeah, so I, of course, wasn't recording when I pulled in. Anyway, here we are. Site 1. Rope swing's looking a little tattered, but we'll see what we can do. Some of this stuff off. And I was right. Shortly after I had time to cool off from the ride and just have a couple of beers, relax for a little bit, and just kind of scope out, check out the campsite, Forrest showed up. And then right after that, we got to setting up camp. So, made it to Granite Lake, Forrest and I, separately, obviously. I took the bike. Forrest brought his truck. And yeah, I mean, this site is absolutely amazing. This is the one that kind of started it all for me back in 2019. It was my first kind of like solo motocamping trip out where I had never been before. And this was the site that I found. It was incredible. Forrest is just going for a bit of a swim. over at the beach, but we're going to take a shortcut, climb up this rock, get a good look at the view, and see if we can see him. Oop. Looks like he's coming back. He's coming back already. Anyway, not too shabby. Deer flies are driving me nuts though. Ugh. There's a lot of them. Forrest and I spent the rest of the evening just basically hanging out at camp. Climbed around those huge chunks of granite and checked out the amazing views. Messed around a bit with the drones and cameras, once again, mostly focused on the views from the site. The sun started to set, so we grabbed a couple of the 8 bags of firewood. Yes, I said 8 bags. Forrest likes to burn a lot of wood when he goes camping. Split some of it up and started the fire. I was fairly tired from the 7-ish hour ride up and the heat of the day. Temperatures were in the 30 degrees Celsius range for most of it, so once the fire was lit, I just settled into my chair with a flask, and Forrest and I did our usual deal of music by the fire and conversation into the night, during which we try to solve the world's problems before the flask empties. After that, I climbed into my tent and started thinking about where I was going to ride tomorrow morning.